Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 7 Minutes with Stephanie. Talk About It Tuesday, where we talk about everything under the sun. And on tonight, we're going to continue with part 2 of narcissistic personality disorder, the Jezebel Spirit. And on last week, I gave some background on how narcissistic personality disorder derived its name from the Greek god Narcissus. Now, I'm not going to go back into all of that. You can just make sure that you click the link below if you missed last week's show. Now, let's get ready to dive back in and take off where we left off and talk about the Jezebel Spirit. Now, on last week, I was proving the case that the world calls narcissistic personality disorder that. However, God told me after I dated one that you can find that in the Bible as the spirit of Jezebel. And because it is a spirit, it can inhabit a male or a female. And what we learned on last week is that Jezebel was the daughter of the priest king Ethbaal, ruler of the Phoenician cities of Tyre and Sidon. When Jezebel married King Ahab of Israel, she persuaded him. So Jezebel is persuasive to introduce the worship of the Tyrian god Melkart, a nature god. Most of the prophets of Yahweh were killed at her command. So what happened with Jezebel is once she got into rulership with Ahab, she had all of God's prophets killed. Okay. Now remember that I said that. Now I'm reading from a picture that I found on Instagram a little while ago, and it says this: Jezebel was a prophetess of Baal. Her name is Phoenician for unhusband. Even if married, she is the boss. Her spirit is rebellious, self-loving, and devoid of empathy. Jezebel loves what God hates and hates what God loves. Her spirit seeks to use, manipulate, and destroy lives. Be able to discern and pray against this demonic spirit. So it's very important for us to be able to recognize when people are lacking empathy, they lack understanding. Now, sometimes people may just not understand your point. However, when they do things to you and you point it out to them and it's just like they just don't understand and they make an excuse and it's all about them, you're dealing with a Jezebel, you're dealing with a narcissist. Because remember, everything is about them. They're self-loving, all right? It also says that they manipulate. So the Jezebel spirit is very manipulative and controlling. And what does it say here? She is the boss, or he is the boss. Everything has to go their way. Now, I will get into some characteristics of what it looks like when you're dating a narcissist, but we haven't gotten there yet because I really want to lay this foundation of, because some people don't know who Jezebel is and they don't know the depth of what she did and how we can identify when we're dealing with that spirit. I want to share with you all another point that my friend Shamonica Howard, the Strawberry Queen, hey girl, sent me last week on what she found from an Instagram person talking about Jezebel. Take a look at this.
Teach you something right now. I need the people of God to stop teaching that Jezebel is a look. I'm a pause. For the longest, we were taught that Jezebel is a look. If you wear makeup, you were a Jezebel. If your clothes were too tight, you were a Jezebel. If your split was a little bit too long, you were a Jezebel. If you wear eyelashes, you are a Jezebel. Can I tell you something? If you go back and you read in the Bible, you will see that Jezebel herself did not even put on makeup that pertained to a woman. She dressed up like a soldier. It's in the Bible, people. She put on war paint to look like a soldier, okay? And the only reason that the prophets were seduced is because they kept encountering her. They kept being in the company when they shouldn't have. Once God tell you to separate, you just need to stay away from people, because when you keep mingling with those and you're not separate, then that's how these things start happening. And she said, well, if you're going to put yourself in my corner, then I might as well seduce you, prophet. Jezebel is a spirit. It is not a look. I come to mess up some theology and correct some theology that we've been taught, that Jezebel is a look. She is not a look. Let me tell you something. She also can be a he. You can have male Jezebels as well. Come on, somebody. Jezebel, that spirit operates by fear, manipulation, and control, and she comes to assassinate the prophets and prophetic ministries, okay? So if you have ministries that are highly prophetic, you have people who are highly prophetic, I guarantee you that there is a Jezebel somewhere around them trying to assassinate their ministry. And listen, it is not always a female, and she's not always trying to get sex. Sometimes she's using things to manipulate you. She'll use words, she'll use money, okay? But Jezebel, that spirit can also operate in men. Come on, somebody, I need to bust that up. Jezebels are not always women, they can be men, and Jezebel is not a look, it is a spirit. All right, now that I'm off my soapbox.
All right, y'all. So, woo, wasn't that good? She really broke that thing down. Jezebel is not a look. Jezebel is a spirit. Because you know how sometimes you hear back in the day, especially men say, why you got to look like a Jezebel? Why you got that war paint on? I mean, Jezebel was dressed up like a soldier, baby. And what did it say? It wasn't her makeup that lured them. It was those prophets being in her presence. I like the way she said that Jezebel is not limited to just a woman. It can also be a man. So think about how men, ladies, when you're in their presence, they smell real good. They look good. They know how to dress. Come on. All of that can be manipulating and seducing. You know what I'm saying? Just like men can get off by women. But anyway, I got to put a pin in it right here. But this message has been brought to you by... Oh, wow. We are really right there at the precipice of getting ready to close this out so we can get into some more characteristics of what it looks like when you are dating a narcissist. But I want to say this, y'all. Don't just think that narcissistic personality disorder can affect us in dating relationships only, because narcissists can be in families as well. Make sure that you check us out on the web at anointedcreativedesigns.com. And until next week, make sure that you're salt and light in the earth, because somebody, they need you. I love y'all. Be blessed.